Let's talk, my friend. Because if you're anything like me, you've probably been wondering, why on earth haven't the Cowboys paid Micah Parsons yet? I mean, the guy is one of the most dominant defenders in the NFL, right? So what's the holdup? Is it just the usual front office delay, or is there something deeper going on here? Now I get it. Most of us looked at this situation and said, the Cowboys are messing this up again. And hey, that's fair. They've waited too long in the past and ended up paying more. Just look at the Dak Prescott contract situation. By waiting, they ended up handing over way more cash than they would have if they just acted sooner. Same story with DeMarcus Lawrence. And now, with Max Crosby getting paid, you'd think Dallas would have locked Micah up before that market shifted even more. But what if I told you there might be more to the story? During a recent live stream, a fan named Holly Pierce brought up a take that really hit different. What if the Cowboys aren't stalling because of money, but because they want to see something from Micah first? Not in terms of skill, because let's be honest, his numbers speak for themselves. No, this might be about leadership. Think about it. Jerry Jones has said Micah could be a leader. He was even sitting in Jerry's suite during the national championship game. So maybe, just maybe, they want to see how Micah handles this offseason before handing him $200 million. Are they looking to see if he steps up, not just as a game wrecker, but as the heart of the team? Let me ask you this. Do you think that's fair? Drop a yes or no in the comments. Should the Cowboys wait to see more leadership before they pay him? Or is his talent enough to get that deal done now? And hey, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. We've got a lot more to dive into. So here's the twist, and it's something that might just explain the whole delay. What if the Cowboys are running a quiet test of leadership on Micah Parsons? Let's say you're Jerry Jones. You know Micah is a freak athlete. You've seen him dominate on Sundays. But before you hand over a contract that could reach $200 million, you want to be absolutely sure he's the kind of guy who can carry not just the defense, but the entire team culture. That's not just about sacks and highlight reels. That's about being first in the building, last to leave, mentoring young guys, setting the tone every single day. And from what we've seen, Micah might be answering that call. He's showing up. He's not ghosting the team or stirring up contract drama. He's active, present, and reportedly embracing his role more and more. They even moved his locker next to Dak Prescott's. Think about that. That's not an accident. That's intentional. That's a message. The Cowboys are putting him next to the face of the franchise for a reason. They want that leadership torch to start passing. And let's not forget what that locker room means. Players notice how stars are treated. If the Cowboys reward Micah not just for his play, but for how he carries himself, that sets a tone. Young players look at that and say, okay, that's the blueprint. On the flip side, if they paid him without seeing that growth, it could send the wrong signal too. It's a smart play, if it works. But what do you think? Here's a poll question for you. Vote in the comments. Is leadership worth holding up a superstar's contract, or should raw talent be enough? And another one. Do you think moving his locker next to Dak is a sign that the Cowboys already made up their minds to pay him? Yes or no? This whole thing might be about more than money. It might be about setting a new standard in the locker room. Stick with me because coming up next, we're diving into how this connects to Mike McCarthy's situation. And it's not as disconnected as you might think. Now, let's connect the dots. Because Micah Parsons' contract situation might not just be about Micah. It might be part of a much bigger picture that involves head coach Mike McCarthy and the entire direction of the Cowboys organization. Think about it. If the front office was fully locked in on McCarthy, wouldn't they be pushing harder to solidify the team around him, starting with locking up their most dominant player? But instead, it almost feels like they're waiting to see how Micah leads, how the locker room responds, how the team culture evolves under new voices, like Brian Schottenheimer. And that hesitation? It might say more about McCarthy than it does about Micah. You've probably seen the reports. The players seem to like McCarthy, sure, but respect? That's a different story. And if you're in the front office, looking at 5 years of mostly the same results, what are you really committing to if you pay Micah now, tie him to this regime, and then make a coaching change a year later? Let's flip it. Brian Schottenheimer seems to be getting more of the locker room's attention. That's not coming out of nowhere. There's a sense that this coaching staff is in transition mode, feeling out what this new culture could look like post-McCarthy. And in that world, Micah Parsons might not just be a defensive superstar, he might be a pillar of the next era. So this delay? It could be a pause, like the Cowboys are waiting to see how the team gels under this new dynamic. If the team starts rallying behind Micah and guys like Dak, while Schottenheimer gains traction, it becomes a lot easier to hit go on that $200 million deal. Now let me toss this your way. Do you believe the Cowboys are delaying Micah's deal because they're not sold on McCarthy long-term? Drop your take in the comments. I'm curious where you stand. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because in the next chapter, we'll get into the money itself and why the actual numbers might already be locked in behind closed doors. Here's the wild part, my friend. This entire contract holdup with Micah Parsons? It might not even be about negotiating at all. The truth is, the numbers could already be set behind the scenes. Let's be real. The NFL market for elite pass rushers is pretty well defined. Max Crosby got paid. Myles Garrett's deal is already a reference point. The moment Jamar Chase and some of these other stars got their extensions or hit the market, you better believe Micah's camp and the Cowboys' front office took notes. Micah Parsons isn't just another good player. He's generational. And with that comes a price tag everyone already understands. Whether it's $198 million or $202 million, we're talking about a difference of maybe a couple $1,000,000 here and there. At that level, those few digits don't break the deal. So the fact that it's not signed yet tells us something else is in play. This might be less about haggling and more about strategy. Think about timing. The Cowboys could be spacing out this deal for cap reasons. Or maybe it's about maximizing headlines later in the offseason when there's a lull in news and they want that big PR moment. Don't underestimate how calculated Jerry Jones can be. Or maybe, just maybe, they're still testing Micah, seeing how he handles this phase of his career. Is he staying engaged, showing leadership, setting the tone for younger players? They've already moved his locker next to Dak's for a reason. That's not something you do if you're thinking about trading the guy. That's what you do when you're grooming him as the face of your franchise. So here's a quick yes or no for you. Do you think the Cowboys already know exactly what they're going to offer Micah and they're just holding back for now? Type yes or no in the comments. Let's see where the fan base stands on this one. And don't forget, if you're enjoying the breakdown, go ahead and like the video to help get this in front of more Cowboys Nation. Next up, let's wrap this up with what's really at stake for Micah, for the Cowboys, and for the future of this franchise. All right, let's close this out with what really matters, because this Micah Parsons contract situation is bigger than just numbers on paper. This is about what kind of team the Cowboys want to be moving forward. Micah isn't just a star, he's the star, a homegrown talent who's produced at an elite level from day one. You don't just let a player like that linger in contract limbo unless there's a deeper message you're trying to send. The Cowboys are at a crossroads. They've already drawn a line with Dak Prescott, letting him enter the final year of his deal without an extension. They said goodbye to longtime veterans this offseason. And now, with Micah, it feels like they're trying to reshape the identity of the team. And that's what's really at stake here. If Micah rises to the challenge, if he shows maturity, leadership, and commitment, they're not just paying a player. They're investing in the future face of the franchise. A guy who can lead this locker room into the next era. That's worth every dollar. But if the front office messes this up, if they wait too long, or the message gets misunderstood, it could damage more than just the relationship with Micah. Other players are watching, future free agents are watching. You don't want to build a reputation for lowballing your stars or dragging your feet when it's time to reward greatness. And for us fans, we want to know that this team is building towards something real, that we're not wasting the prime years of a generational talent. So tell me this, straight up, do you believe the Cowboys are making the right move by waiting to extend Micah? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. And hey, if you've made it this far, you're clearly a real one. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss the next big update on Parsons, the Cowboys, and everything in between. Because the story's far from over.